This presentation is brought to you by Smoooth Productions.
Welcome to another edition of your Wednesday Night Sports Delight Platform Sports Talk Show. What's going on, party people? It is your boy Smooth. That is Smooth with 3 O's. Welcome to another edition of your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the Platform Sports Talk Show. It's a pleasure to have y'all back again. This is the final main show of 2025. Yeah, what a year, man. Time has definitely gone by, but we here. I thank y'all for supporting the Platform Sports Talk Show Network, bringing in the holiday season, rocking the hat, doing the whole thing, getting the beard going right, as it'll be the last time y'all see my face for 2025 on the Platform Sports Talk Show Network. But we got more coming up. Of course, got to do my promo. Y'all know what it is. Follow the Platform Sports Talk Show Network all across social media, on Facebook, on the X, on Instagram. Go on YouTube, subscribe, and click on that bell. So anytime we go live, you will be notified. If y'all are interested in maybe being a part of the show, y'all know someone that would be a great guest. You want us to maybe come out to an event and hold some things down, get some good footage, coverage, some maybe on-the-spot interviews, or maybe we can set up shop and do a sports talk show there. Shoot us an email, platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. If you can't watch us, it's all good. We got you. You can definitely check out the show by listening on Hot 365 Radio, where it's always hot. Go to hot365radio.com or download the app, no matter if it's on iOS or on Android. They also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/hot360. And you can also catch the replay of our most recent show each and every Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So there's no excuse for not catching us some way, somehow, when we do our thing. Every first Wednesday of the month, you have Ladies Night, the best panel of ladies who loves sports. Every last Wednesday of the month, you have the Man Cave, where anything can go down. But this month, because if you saw last week, we had part 1 of the Super Show. So next week, not the last Wednesday because we have the holiday, but next week, we'll have our very final show of the year, part 2 of the Super Show. Trying to do it bigger and better. Last week's show was so amazing. Shouts out to everyone who was a part of it. Just a great job by Joe to hold things down for Bunny, as Bunny wasn't feeling her best. Super was a pro and held that down and commanded everyone to stay in line. So it was a great show. If you didn't catch the highlights, y'all tripping. Go on YouTube right now to the Platform Sports Talk Show and check out the highlights from last week. It was a nice, about 9-10 minute long highlight reel. You know, I got to do it big for the Super Show. So stay tuned for that and for next Wednesday. as the men will take over and do their thing with hosting the Super Show. So a lot going on with the Platform Sports Talk Show Network. And then outside of the sports talk show world, we have Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth, hosted by, of course, yours truly. Go on YouTube, go and put in Smooth Conversations. Once again, that's smooth with 3 O's. Like, subscribe, share, spread the word. If y'all haven't seen these episodes, man, they are so amazing. They're so incredible to get these stories told from people who doing so many amazing things in this world. And then you also have KBDR Beat District Radio. Shouts out to my Beat District Radio fam. Go to the website www.beatdistrictradio.com or download the app as well. You will hear either a live or the best of Smooth Conversations every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Beat District Radio. So connect with me on that. Make sure throughout the whole show, y'all go ahead and scan the QR code and just follow Smooth Productions and any and all things that I'm doing. Also have photography, videography, and drone services under Smooth Moments. Do custom apparel, t-shirts, hoodies, caps, the whole nine, equipment. Y'all need some branding on there, a logo, or whatever. Just scan the QR code, connect with me, and let's make it happen. So that's pretty much everything under Smooth Productions umbrella. I do see a comment here, and shouts out to our favorite fan, Miss Dub in the building. In the words of Craig Black, we love us some Miss Dub. All right, so now it's time to bring in the panel. Up first, she's in the kitchen. She's back. She's feeling so much better right now. She's ready to hold things down. And based off her shirt, she may be ready for a drink. We're gonna find out. Bunny, what's happening?
Had to start off on mute, right?
There it is. It wouldn't be a show if you don't start off on mute.
I know, right? Yes, I sound better. I feel better. Back to normal.
That's what's up. So glad to have you back. It's just so amazing when your body just feels so much better. It's like you have new life. Like, this is what it feels like. You kind of like we forget to appreciate the small things in life.
I know, right?
Yeah. So glad to have you back. How has your Christmas season been thus far?
I think it is going quite well. Got the house decorated. Christmas trees are up. The lights are up. We did a little new this year. We put red and green lights on the front porch rather than just the traditional white. So that's different. I forgot to get more lights for outside. So work on that for next Christmas, right? But it's good though. I got the holiday spirit, so we're doing good over here.
That's what's up. Well, once again, happy holiday season, and thank you for once again being on the main show with yours truly. And up next, we gotta bring in this lady who held things down last week on the Super Show, hosting, taking care of Bunny. Like, Bunny, you know what? If you ain't gotta talk, you ain't gotta talk. I got you. I'll take care of it. And she held that down from, of course, the ladies' night panel. Hold things down from the Boondocks. Joe Bo, what's happening?
What up? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Oh my, I can't believe Christmas is almost here. That terrifies me. But yeah, old Joe would have been super terrified when he sprung that on me before the show that I was going to be holding things down for Bunny. But deep breath, we got taken care of. It was nice having the guys on too, Sidal walking in with a beard, Craig Black here, Amani or Faith, and I Miss Dub. It was good. It was nice.
Good. You had a lot of practice, so that's why you said old Joe would have been nervous. Now it's like I've done this enough. You had to fill in, and you do a great job. So appreciate you.
Yeah, and I'm happy you are feeling better now, so we get to hear more hot Bunny takes today.
Uh-oh. And I got a feeling we may have some she may come out and butt some words out today, because we got some good topics, and I have a feeling, especially with this first segment, that it may be a nice long one in regards to what has your attention? Oh, excuse me, you now have my attention. What sports story or stories has your attention? And I have a feel this is going to be a nice long segment because there's a few things that's been going on in my eyes in the sports world that we got to talk about. But I'll let Bunny go ahead and lead things off. She's our leadoff hitter. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Batter up, first to swing. You're right. It is a few topics to talk about. I'll do one. I mean, damn, it was kind of hard to even do one.
Right.
You put one in the chat right before we came on the air. I saw that about Michigan coach something more.
Yes, Sharon Moore.
Sharon Moore. Okay. That the first part that came out this afternoon, and then part two of him being detained by police. So you get fired, get detained by police. I said, this sounds like a dang on Tubi movie about to happen. Like, what is going on here?
Right. Right. I saw it. So for those who don't know, Sharon Moore, the former head coach of maybe what a year and a half with Michigan after Jim Harbaugh left, well, got fired or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
He took over the program and they were doing their thing. And he just got let go today due to having a inappropriate relationship with a staff member. So you thinking, okay, dang, dude tripping. But within the last half an hour, we get word that he was detained by police. Let me pull this up. He was detained by police. Uh, Basically, I'm trying to find this. Here we go. On Wednesday night, over an investigation into potential charges hours after Michigan fired him. So it's like, well, what else did he do after
That's
he?
what I'm saying. That's why I said it sound like a Tubi movie because they, y'all over the place and bad acting in them movies.
Right. So yeah, it just all bad, you know what I'm saying? And of course all three of us, we're all black, you know what I'm saying, Joe? So it's like, man, once again, one of our peoples are is tripping when you have this high priced job that not a lot of, especially black coaches though, for real, don't get the opportunity to coach a high prestige uh university. And even when it comes to players, this has been one of my biggest pet peeves since I started this show almost 9 years ago, 10 years ago, is that we just keep on seeing athletes, personalities, celebrities, whatever, mess up their bag by doing something crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
so frustrating that we continue to see it no matter what kind of level it is, that we get these players or coaches, personalities that are in great positions and they mess up their bag by doing something crazy off the field or whatever it is. And it just really sucks.
It does. And my other one, because like there's a lot of topics. Another college football one. This is more with Notre Dame's AD. Not head coach Marcus Freeman. No, the AD that's been going on a rampage this week. Like crying, whining. He break all them bowls. Then you got the ACC commissioner talking about him. I said, well, my goodness. These are two men fighting like, as they say, women can't fight verbally, though. Again, I guess we'll touch on that topic when going back in college football, but that's been so much in this past week just with Notre Dame's AD. So that backstory, for those who don't know, so Notre Dame is independent. They do not have a conference affiliation for football. Now for basketball, it's ACC and maybe the other major sports, but football, they're independent. When the college football playoff rankings came out over the weekend, they were left out. Of course, the uproar is because they had a good record. What were they, 9-2 or something? And with that good record, they should have gotten in. And it's like, well, how does a smaller school like James Madison get in and not Notre Dame? So then this is where the AD is going off on his tangent about it. Like every day he's coming out with tweets and news conferences. It was a lot. So we were talking about it at work today, coincidentally. And I was like, I I see them expanding the playoffs, especially if it generates more money, and it will. But back to
There we go.
Okay. But with Notre Dame's AD crying, that's kind of self-inflicted. You all choose to be independent, and I found out why because I asked my manager. He's a former Florida Gator football player, so he knows a lot of the big D1 schools and some of the stuff. He said behind the scenes, NBC has a contract exclusivity for Notre Dame, so they got that bag and they don't want to touch it. That's why they're independent. But they got screwed in the college football playoff because technically they wanted, the big five power conferences represented in the playoffs and all other politics. So anyway, those are two stories right now, but there's a few more, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'll let y'all have it. But it's a lot, right?
Oh yeah, it's definitely. Oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure I go to the right one. Yeah, but it's definitely a lot going on, and we will be discussing that. And no, I'm not on the right screen. All right, now we are. Oh, no, we're not. Sorry, y'all. Let me make sure I get these screens together here.
Because I'm like, where's my Jobo?
Right. Let me see here. Group.
There she is. You're back.
All right. We ain't Xing out no one here.
I'm scared that she got that Blues jersey on. I'm scared. I'm just scared.
It's for a
Again,
good reason.
I know we got to talk about that topic later too, but I'm just scared. Anything, just.
It's for a good reason tonight. I'm celebrating tonight.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to hear about it.
All right, Jobo, what's up? What has your attention?
Well, first, what was in my cup last week was the winter meetings happening this week. It wasn't as crazy as last year. Last year there were so many people that signed, and topping it off with Juan Soto to the Mets. Well, now the Mets are losing guys like crazy. They lost, or they traded Brandon Nimmo before the winter meetings to Texas for Marcus Semien, which Marcus Semien, he's not a bad ball player, but he's at the end of his contract. He had a very bad year last year. They lost Diaz, the Trumpets, to the Dodgers yesterday, with like the biggest closer contract of all time. And then today, the polar bear is going to Baltimore. The Orioles, so far they brought Kittredge back. They brought Helsley into their bullpen. They got Pete Alonso, and now they're in talks, or there's like rumors and stuff about Fromber from the Astros. Will they go out there and get Ranger Suarez? Will they trade for Mackenzie Gore, possibly Freddie Peralta, Edward Cabrera? Like there's a lot of stuff they can do. And now that they have Pete Alonso covering first base, they have two guys who play first base, Kobe Mayo and Ryan Mountcastle. So they could trade from there. They got a surplus of outfielders. There's a lot of stuff they could do to really, really, make their team better. And I love this because 3 years ago, those last 2 years were really good, but they get to the playoffs and they can't hit. Last year, they started off awful. I had them go to the World Series, I think, against the Phillies last year or this past season, and they were awful. Once they traded some people away, got into like the midway point of the year, they played great, but it was a really down year after 2 postseasons. So that's the Orioles. It was kind of a quiet winter meetings, which kind of sucks. But I mean, you still got guys out there, like I named a couple. Then you got Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger. So I wish there was like a deadline there, during winter for these guys to sign. That's something baseball I think could do better, because I feel like other sports have some sort of a deadline, for free agents to sign. So that's something that they could do better, because now we're just sitting here waiting, just waiting for other stuff to happen. But and then one other thing, I know I sent this to our ladies' night chat. This would have been perfect if this happened last week, but Susan Slusser, I think that's how you say her last name. She's been a writer for the Oakland Times and the Giants and stuff. And she posted this today on X, and it's a picture of her and a lot of the women writers in baseball. And she mentions, too many to tag, and that alone makes me insanely happy. Many, but not even all the women of the members of the Baseball Writers Association of America. But she said 30 years ago, there was only 2 of them. her and one other woman, just for each league. And now this is, there's so many women writers that are writing for the game. So I don't know. I thought that was really cool. There's Katie Wu right there, R.I.P. in the middle, but I don't know. I just think it's cool for the game to see, all these women writers that are writing about baseball. So I just wanted to shout them out.
Yeah, shout out to the ladies, man. Y'all been really holding things down in the world of sports. And trust me, when I tell you, I have been trying to get Katie Wu on the show. I have been trying. She's a hard woman
Now
to
she's
get.
in LA.
Now she's in LA, so it's like, oh well, dang. But hey, I still want to see what's up because she has still a lot of knowledge from her time as the beat writer for the Cardinals for the Athletic. So, and she's just doing amazing things now with what's the Foul Territory and everything else she's been on. So she's definitely just blossoming, continue to blossom in the sports world. But yeah, so I've been trying to see about her and some other beat writers and other big time female, but big time women doing amazing things in sports. So hopefully we can make that happen for either the main show or ladies' night. So I'm gonna keep on working at it. So stay tuned for that. But no, that's amazing.
Oh,
Shout out to all the ladies who are holding things down right now in the world of sports. Yeah, so sorry, y'all. The stream y'all kind of acting real weird tonight. I had to go ahead and shut down the Instagram feed because the layout was looking super weird. So we'll see about getting that fixed for next week. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, so in regards to what has my attention, I have a lot, man. But I'm gonna go start off first by showing love to Asia Wilson, man. She just won Time Athlete of the Year. So shouts out to her. Ladies just continue to take over the world, man, and even the sports world. But she's had an amazing year. As y'all saw, the WNBA Finals, it was outside of maybe game one, it was no competition. It was like, let me remind y'all just how great I am. And she did that. She's happy on the court, off the court. As y'all know, she's dating Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat, but just living the life, man. So she's definitely dominating. And now she has won Time Athlete of the Year. And this is big because this ain't like, okay, Time Woman Athlete of the Year. No, this is Athlete of the Year in regards to men and women. So that's a huge thing. Ladies, y'all thoughts on Asia Wilson winning this award?
She's one of my fave WNBA players. So shout out to Miss Asia Wilson. I mean, she's dominant. The girl, listen, her resume speaks for itself. And back when she was at South Carolina, I saw her, but I didn't really pay attention to her. And not until she got with the Aces. And I'm like, oh, okay. But she's well deserving for this. Well deserving. I'm so happy for her. So thank you for letting me know. I didn't even know she got this. So that's the bomb cover photo, ain't
yeah.
it?
I like that. No, there's not many WNBA players that I know, but I know of Asia Wilson, and I feel like we're talking about how much of a badass she is for the last couple of years now, and this is just adding on to it. So yeah, shouts out to her, and that is a cool photo.
It is. And I like her A1 tennis shoes. I haven't gotten one yet. I was gonna see if Santa Claus come hook me up. But yeah, I like them too. So that's dope because there's not that many women athletes that get a signature shoe. So she's one of those few. So yeah, awesome. She's well deserving.
Yeah. So once again, shouts out to Asia Wilson for that. Second, I want to get into Mizzou real quick. So as y'all know, of course, well, for those who don't know, Coach Eli Drinkwitz for the football team. Now, a couple weeks ago or last month, I had a nice little spiel about my thoughts on Coach Drinkwitz, and I was saying that if he was to have left Missouri, I wouldn't be mad because yes, he's done a whole lot for the university, but when it comes down to winning that game, he just continues to not get there. But over the last week and a half now or so, he just signed an extension So pretty much he's not going anywhere. He is now, and I saw some reports on the Bernie Mikla's show that I look at online on Sports Central, that he is now the fourth highest paid coach in the SEC, which in my head, in my mindset, excuse me, that tells me that the pressure is now on for Mizzou to be a top 4 SEC team overall. If you're paying him that amount of money, that means that now the pressure is on for him to be a top 4, the Mizzou to be a top 4 football team. That needs to be the expectation for me. The pressure is on for him now to deliver. The contract is like maybe 6-7 years, and if I believe I read correctly that if Mizzou wins like 8 games, he gets another year added on to that after that season. So the pressure is on Mizzou. Going to the basketball team now. You know how much praise I have for Dennis Gates, but he's in a similar path as Drinkwitz. Great recruiter. He can get those 5-star guys. Like next year, he's going to have the best class Mizzou has ever had. But he has an issue with this offense. Anytime they play, well, I'll say that part. But recently, they just played Kansas, KU. It was a neutral site game in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. Before that, they who they play?
Notre Dame, right?
Thank you, Notre Dame, the SEC ACC Challenge, and they lost that game. And the reason why, because of the lack of offense during certain times of the game, where it's like, well, you start off strong, but then all of a sudden teams make adjustments, and you don't know how to adjust to that. And I believe that sounds kind of familiar because it's the same issue that's been going on with Eli Drinkers on the football team. And I want to point to this outside the offense. But for both programs, I feel the biggest issue with Mizzou football and basketball is their weak non-conference schedule. You cannot continue to schedule these teams that's really irrelevant. Scheduling D2 schools and schools that don't really have a chance to even probably get a playoff bowl game in football, or even get to a tournament game in basketball. Do I appreciate in football? I mean, basketball, like the Lindenwoods and whatever. I appreciate them, but we know they're not really a team to be threatened with in March. We need to start doing something different in both football and in basketball, where start the season off by playing a powerhouse team. Don't be afraid to maybe lose the first game of the season, or, not saying that you will, but at least put yourself in a position where you're scheduling a Power 5 conference team more than you're scheduling a D2 or a high school team, because it's not helping your teams prepare for the big dogs when it's time to play. Like, for instance, Mizzou, prior to the Notre Dame and KU game for the basketball team, they were undefeated. They were 8-0. So you thinking, oh, okay, this team got it going on. But the problem is, if you see their schedule, they really haven't played anyone. Their first game of the season was an away game at Howard University. Howard University is not a threat on the basketball court. Now, off the court, yes, because they're smart. But in regards to on the court, they're not a threat. So you play all these home games after that. They had like maybe 6-7 home games in a row after that Howard game, where you're playing teams like, SIU, SEMO. It's okay. But you got Cleveland State. They're not a threat. You have these other schools. They're not really a threat. So it's like you're not really getting that true experience of playing a high caliber team and getting battle tested. So by the time you are playing the Notre Dames, the KUs, then you got in 2 weeks, Illinois here in St. Louis, you'll be ready to rock and roll. But no, we're not doing that. And then going to the football team, you're playing UMass, you're playing some little team that you don't even know where they stay at, and you know it's going to be a blowout. Now, one team they did play, which was good, which was needed, was maybe face off against KU in football. That was a nice game. But outside of that, you're not setting your team up for SEC play or when you have a tough non-conference game, which you rarely schedule. So that's my issue with Mizzou, is that the scheduling has to be better for your team to be prepared for better competition. If you don't do that, we're going to keep on seeing the same result. Oh, they have a promising start, but they have a weak non-conference schedule, and it does not help them down the line. That's my biggest issue with Mizzou.
And who is it? The coaches that reach out and schedule those, or is it like the athletic department of the school? You know, like the coaches.
It's right. It's in between the coaches and the AD. The coaches really are the ones who, just like they look out for recruits and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're the ones who seek out, you know, these teams. So it's like I said, it's easy to get those wins for non-conference games to have the resume look good, or in regards to the start of the season on your schedule. Oh, Mizzou coming in at 6-0 or 5-0. But you realize who they played. It's like, well, I'll be 5-0 too if I was playing them teams. You know what I'm saying? But you got the Alabamas, the Texas, the Ohio States, where the first game of the season, who you saw this year play, the first game of the year was Ohio State versus Texas. That was the first football game of the year. In basketball, every year you see Michigan State, Duke, Kentucky, KU play in the tournament or whatever it is in Chicago or other states. They play each other every year. You know, the best of the best be playing each other so early, so they're battle tested by the time it's conference play.
So what I agree with some of what you're saying, and same time I also don't mind them playing a soft schedule too. So my question, what for basketball part of this? What's considered the early part of the season? If they play Notre Dame, they play in Illinois, Border War, they play Kansas. Two of them in December. Conference play starts in January. 2 in December, 1 in November. Those are 3 decent caliber teams there before conference play starts.
But the issue is that before you're playing those teams, those 6 games or 7 games before that, you're playing high school teams. I'm sorry. It's what it is. That's not a good tune-up to determine how good you are. You need to start playing those tougher teams in early November and late October. That's when you want to start playing those good teams.
But the season don't start technically until November, though, beginning of November. So
That's why
October is exhibition. Even if you play, like, all right, you know there. So you're saying from game 2 to game 10 of your season, it needs to be top 25, or at least some that are former top 25 that still could give you competition.
And I'm not saying every game from 1 to, let's say, 1 to 8, every game is against a Power 5 team. But what I'm saying is that it should not be majority of high school or, you know, D2 skill or D2 level schools. You need to implement more better competition than having weak non-conference games, because it's not helping you out in the long run. The same thing with SLU. If you look at that non-conference games, it's not really that tough at all. So it's not. So it's like, yeah, they have a great 8-1 start, but when conference play turns around, which is next month, that's going to be the real test, because they got tested against Santa Clara and Stanford, which was the 2 games over the last maybe 2 weeks. But you still have those 6-7 games before that you should be expected to win. And that's the mindset that needs to change for me, is that bring in better competition earlier in the season, and don't wait until December to finally play a road game like Mizzou did, like a true road game like Mizzou did. And then now you're getting the conference play and y'all looking like y'all can't win a game. Start scheduling better in both football and basketball to get your teams ready for these big games.
Now, for the football side, That window was much smaller because with SEC conference play, that's pretty much October, November, right? So September is your soft side of your schedule. So I could see you said they need to be playing competitive by mid September. They should be all competitive. I mean, their conference is competitive. So let's just be real. Even in the basketball side, but with the football side, they need to be playing outside the conference, but still the ACC or the Big Ten type schools. That's what you want to see because we know our competition level against other schools is not there yet. Will it ever be? I don't know. And a little pivot with Drinkowitz, him signing an extension, it's not necessarily a bad thing because you was like, well, maybe we can get another coach. Do you see? We talked about this a couple of months ago. The coaching carousel is so crazy. If you're top tier, you still get fired if you have an off season. So they know they had to hold on to him because they don't want to go through that coaching carousel. He's not bad, and I believe the Mizzou fan base is like as long as you keep us competitive, not losing but competitive, have a season like we did 9-2. That's good. Now because of this whole college playoff stuff, bowl games are what they used to be. They've definitely gotten watered down because you got under 500 teams in bowl games now. I mean, that's another topic we can talk about there later. But as far as the competition with Mizzou football, let's see. Maybe next year after, Drickles decides, okay, let's beef it up some.
And just to add on to that, because I'm looking at Mizzou's schedule this year, they played Central Arkansas football team and won 61-6. Like, what are you gonna learn from playing against Central Arkansas? You're really not. Then they had KU, they won that game. Then they played Louisiana, not LSU, but Louisiana, and won 52-10. What are you really learning from playing Louisiana? You're really not. That's what I'm getting at. Then they played South Carolina, which was a division game, a conference game, but then they played UMass after that, 42-6. So it's like, and once again, I know the Alabamas, Texas, they will play a team similar to that as well. So they have done that. So I'm not saying no team plays against a lower team or a who team. Everyone does that to get, warmed up or whatever. But at the same token, you will see a Alabama, you will see a Georgia play against another Power 5 team, a non-conference Power 5 team, to see where they are before they get into conference play. That's all I'm asking. It's just to implement more tougher Power 5 teams to your schedule in both football and in basketball, and let's see where you truly are. And let's not wait until December when you only have maybe a couple games to really see where y'all at. Let's beef that up a little bit more earlier in the schedule. That's my request, because I feel like if they do that, then they'll truly know where they at in the season.
I know is, like I said, I understand what you're saying. I also don't mind if you start off with football a couple of games soft, because you are trying to make sure there's a psychological thing behind it that we can win. And then you also make sure your personnel, y'all got the right pieces. Because they really, how the NFL does preseason game. In college football, they really don't have a preseason like that.
Nope.
So your soft team should be your first, second game after that. If you want, like I said, mid-September, play the Big Ten teams and all that, have at it. So we'll see. So I understand what you're saying. I also see a little soft schedule, at least 2 games. Now for the basketball side, it's common. The other big schools, Blue Bloods do it as well. They'll play some soft teams. But like I said, we did a SEC ACC challenge game last week.
And you saw what happened. It was a reality check.
Sometimes student athletes need that sometimes too, though, because sometimes they're on their high horse and bring y'all back down. So if you're saying Dennis Gates is a great recruiter, offenses get stuck. That reminds me of, the coach that I should say I can't stand, but who is not good against accolades, Doc Rivers. Ask the LA Clippers teams, ask the Philadelphia 76ers. And it's the same blueprint when it comes to fourth quarters and playoffs in him. So the offense is stagnant. So hopefully Dennis Gates figures this out sooner than later.
Yeah, and we of course we all know that it's very crucial in college sports to the strength of schedule. Strength of schedule is crucial in football and in basketball. How many times do they look at, when they decide the for the big dance, the field of 62 or 64, whatever it is now, how much they look at strength of schedule. Your non-conference strength of schedule matters. And with SLU, their margin is so small because if they don't schedule a great non-conference team, they pretty much will have to win their conference in order to get a look to
Yeah,
go
because
into.
Atlantic 10 Conference is not a Power 5, so
Exactly. So
unfortunately.
that's what I'm saying is that you have to build up a great resume and show strength of schedule. So in case you did not win the A10 for some reason, at least they'll say, "Oh, well, look what they did against North Carolina. They were right there, not blown out, but right there, or beat them. Oh, they played a non-con against KU, and look what happened. Oh, this team is the real deal. This team is ready." You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying in regards to you had to have a better strength of scheduling because that's so important. And yes, like I said, sprinkle in the weak teams or weaker teams. That's going to happen because every school does that, football and basketball. But also add more tough games down the line. That's all I'm asking for. So hopefully that'll come. And I think I had one more thing I said is going to be pretty lengthy, but I had a few things on my mind. And let me see. Did I have it here? Okay, I think I covered it all. Let me double check. Okay, yeah, I did. So yeah, so those were some of the things that had my attention. Once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show, your Wednesday night sports delight. Let's get right into some baseball talk. So listening last week on the Bernie Show, he mentioned that for the first time in the St. Louis Cardinals franchise history, that the Cardinals now are sharing revenue from the MLB. In the past, prior to this season, they've always had enough money from ticket sales, from the success of the team, the whole nine of television, whatever. They've always had enough money to hold things down when they prepared to change their payroll and add players, etc. But now, for the very first time, they are now doing revenue sharing where they're getting money from the MLB. They're pretty much asking for help for a loan. Like, hey, help us out. We need some money so we can cover everything on our end. Joe, with you hearing that, seeing that, and we know how things are changing with the landscape of this organization, we're in full rebuild mode, knowing that now we're asking the league for a little change. What's your mindset now about this organization?
I mean, it just shows how far they've fallen in the last. It's longer than what I'm gonna say, but last handful of years. And I don't know what other organizations do this in baseball. So I don't know how to compare it, but I think that's the best way to say it is that's how far they've fallen. It's always been 3 million fans every year, and as you've seen from not just Cardinal beat writers or whatever post pictures during the season, and it's not just during March and April and May games, it's August, September, games of a lot of red seats. So it just shows how far they've fallen, and it should never have been this. It should have never came to this. But we'll see what's gonna happen. With the next couple of years with new leadership, and I. It's hard to describe the organization and team until we see it happen, or at least until we get closer to the actual season starting. But yeah, this is that's it's news, and it's new, as for the Cardinals organization, and new for us to see that because we're usually there giving them all of our money, but not anymore.
Yeah, so I just did some research as you were talking about it. The Cardinals are set to receive MLB revenue sharing for the first time due to precipitous drop in ticket sales, reworking their broadcast right deal with FanDuel Sports Network at a reduced rate by 23%. The Cardinals are now a net receiver for revenue sharing for the first time in at least 25 years. So, yeah, like I said, it just says a whole lot about the organization and how they've fallen. And Bunny, I know that a few weeks ago you were saying that you felt that the rebuild should have happened a year or 2 years after Pujols and Yachty retired. But I said, hey, no, it needs to happen as soon as they're going. That should have been like the signal, the sign of, you know what, it's the end of an era, end of having, true um, the guys on the team, because we know the Goldie and Nato, they were great, but they weren't the guys. But that should have been a sign, like, you know what, it's time to go ahead and move on. But now they waited too long, and we're seeing what's going on now with low ticket sales, and as I said before, with what's going on with TV sharing or revenue sharing from TV money and the whole nine. So now they're trying to find ways to recoup and get some more money. So this is a very interesting time. It's not discouraging to me though, because as I was saying before, Joe, that I've been looking forward to this type of off season where we now know that we're going to start getting rid of some high priced contracts and start having the youth take over, and especially having Hein Bloom taking over and doing his thing. I have a feeling very soon we'll be seeing a trade from Arenado and Brendan Donovan, maybe Contreras now. For those who didn't know, Sonny Gray got traded to the Red Sox. So, like I said, we're seeing these moves being made, and I believe that before spring training, we will see a lot more moves is going to happen. I have a feeling, because we don't want to keep on having dead money, because we're not going to get nothing really from Arenado. Brandon Donovan, he's a great player, but he is aging, and something that isn't said enough that I've noticed is that he also gets injured a whole lot too, and he isn't getting any younger. Once again, great player, would love to have him, but we're in a full rebuild mode, and we need to start bringing up the other players, allow room for Weather Hope to come in and do his thing. Maybe see about Gorman being the third baseman every day, or maybe he gets traded. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Lawrence Newball. So
That sounds. I'm sorry. I'm sure Nolan Gorman's a really good guy, but I'm done with him. I don't know how long our Cardinal segment's supposed to be today, but
it's whatever. No time limit.
Okay. You know how BK and Tanner Henderson, I think they do like their little Cardinal conversations. Yeah. Okay. And I saw Tanner say, something about like, what was it? Something like, I think Cardinals fans, if it gets to like 28, 29, I can't remember exactly what he said, like they might start to get a little antsy by then. And I was telling Brendan after that, I'm like, it sucks, because if you would have done this a couple years ago, whenever, I'm sure we could bring back the tapes of me just saying, let's just do a rebuild. I don't think Cardinals fans will be mad about it whatsoever. I think they're ready for it. But now they dragged it on for so long. I don't know how fans are going to react to a full rebuild, retool, whatever the heck they're going to call it. But it's like, I think some fans are ready, but I don't think they're ready for how long it possibly might be. And I think it's the past leadership's fault that it got to this point, obviously. And I mean, still DeWitt too, because it's mainly his, his decision on how to move forward, really. But I hope Heim doesn't get blamed for it, because it's not his fault. He got brought into a very crappy situation. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it's going to go and how long it's going to take. And with seeing there was a lefty for Ferrara that got traded from the Nationals to the Mariners, and the Nationals got Henry Ford plus another player, Henry Ford's been one of their top prospects for a couple of years now. I want to know what Jojo Romero's going to get now after seeing that package, for for a left-handed reliever. Jojo's got to be gone. Nato, I don't think he's going to be the first to go, but he's got to go. Maybe the Angels will take him on now that Anthony Rendon, that loser, is going to retire and do his own thing. Angels have been making moves, so maybe that's my guess. He's going to go there. Gorman, again, I'd like to not have him here. I feel like we know exactly what we're going to get with Gorman every single year. Let's see, what else? Donovan. I think he's still younger than me, and I'm pretty young, I feel like. So my body doesn't feel it sometimes, but I think he's like 26, something like that. So, and if we saw what Tommy Edman did, and he got injured here and there, we should get a decent amount back for Brendan Donovan. Lars Nootbaar, like you said, I know there's been talks about maybe the Royals on him. Same thing with Brendan Donovan too. I don't know. It's exciting and whatnot, and I'll continue to say that. But it's just, how long is it all going to take? And there's a lot of Cardinals fans out there, like Stanton in the chat, or even Bunny sometimes. They want it now, and it's not going to happen for a little bit.
Yeah, and give me 1 second here. But yeah, so I do want to also say this too, because now that we're having a full off season with different coaches in the system, something that can dramatically change. And if it did, it could actually make this process, this rebuild, be a retool instead. If you have guys like Jordan Walker to finally get it, to have, I know you said, but if you had Nolan Gorman, to have that offseason with a better development throughout the offseason, to have the better coaches, to have them right, to have the modern day philosophy of how to approach baseball. If that somehow, some way can happen where they can be those players that we want them to be, especially now that they're being developed on the different coaching now, that can dramatically change the long-term game for the Cardinals. Because as you said before, with Tanner saying 2028, 29, if Jordan Walker finally steps up and plays the way he should, we have been expecting. Now, I ain't gonna say should, because we all know how he gonna really look. But if the expectation is there and he's showing that, you know what, I finally got it, and other guys step up too, then it could be fast tracked to maybe 2026, 2027, and not saying 28 and 29. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing, is now that we have some new coaches in the system, a lot of more guys are more hands-on with these players, that maybe now we'll start seeing the results that we've been wanting to see for the longest time. That's what I'm hoping for.
2028, 29, y'all. Oh, that
See
seems
what
like
I'm
an
saying?
eternity. When you hear it, it's about to be 2026, and you're talking about 3 years. Oh God, it's too long, y'all. I can't. I'm like this. Where? Come on. I can't get forced for spring training. I mean, February is about to be here. They're gonna report down to Jupiter, and I'm not even getting excited because we know they're gonna be trash. It's what it is.
I mean, I'm still excited because I'm excited to see, like, it might have been Bloom that said it, but like, going into spring training, there's gonna be so many competitions. Like, besides Mason Wynn, we don't know what our team is right now.
And I will add in Burleson.
Yeah, Burley. But I'm saying, like, legit, like, you're going to start every single day. You're going to be our shortstop. Like, he's penciled in. No, he's Sharpied in, permanent markered in. So I don't, that's an exciting thing because, I've seen my cousins be all like, every off season talking about, oh, who's going to play third for the Orioles and who's going to be our opening starter for the Orioles. granted, I don't want them to go through a decade of 100 losses like the O's did, but now look where they're at. They got guys like Jackson Holliday and Gunnar Henderson and Jordan Westberg and Colton Cowser, Adley Rushman. Like those are all really good household names, and now they're adding to it, via free agency and even via trade. Like apparently Tyler O'Neill's supposed to be a bench player for them possibly next year. Like we'll see what happens there, but it's exciting to see. Like who's gonna be first base? Is Contreras gonna be with the Red Sox next year or the Yankees? Those are two teams I could see him with. Is Lars Nootbaar gonna be with the Royals or the Phillies? And like where are these guys gonna be and who takes their spot? Is Burley gonna be the first baseman instead? Where's Herrera going? Is he gonna catch or is he gonna DH? Who Gorman second base is gonna be who? Weatherholt maybe? Like is Weatherholt gonna come in? I don't know. It's kind of, I don't even know what the heck a rotation is. I don't know what a rotation is. That part kind of makes me a little nervous. But like Libby and Leahy and McGreevy and who do we get from the Red Sox?
Dick something.
Fitz. Dick
Fitz.
What
a name, huh?
I'm telling you, the one thing the Cardinals always have going for them is the names. Like Stubby Clapp and now Dick Fitz and Lars Nootbaar. Who's our third base coach?
Pop. No, not Pop Warner. What's his name?
Well, Pop Warner. He's another one. Pop Warner. Like those names. Like, what are these names that come in our organization? It doesn't make sense to me, but it's fun. It's fun. But I don't know. It's a
what's
lot
his
of
name? Yeah, okay, yeah, I was right. Pop Warner. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pop Warner and R.I.P. Red Shanties. Just some goofy names in the Cardinals organization. That's always been a thing. But what's your predictions for Newt, Nato, Donnie, and Contreras? Where are they landing?
Where? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so Arenado, I'm still saying it has to be for him either Boston or a West Coast team. You said that
make perfect sense.
Yeah, it would. It's just a matter of if he's willing to take that trade because he wants to play for a contender.
Hey, will he also be at the DH level too, y'all, or a regular player?
Third base.
Player.
Be third base. And AL West, I mean, AL West is pretty wide open, honestly. Like no one's really made any moves yet. There's been conversations of Mariners could trade a starter for a bat, or a starter with control, and they're losing Suarez unless they re-sign him. And you got the Astros. I don't know what they're doing. The Rangers, they're traded Marcus Semien away, and apparently have listened to offers for Corey Seager. So like what's going on with Oakland? They're young and they got Nick Kurtz, who was a stud, and who am I missing in the AL West? But like in the Angels, so I think anyone could win that division as of December 10th.
I could see Contreras now that Alonso is gone. I could see him going to the Mets as a first baseman.
I could see that. He would vibe with Lindor, Soto, Semien, Francisco Alvarez, and just that New York vibe. Like that's why I was like, I could see him with like Boston or New York, just that rivalry. I could see him being all fired. I think the Red Sox are either going to get Contreras or Christian Walker as their first baseman. That's my guess.
For Nootbaar, I can see a division trade, like to the Reds. Yes, to the Reds and to the Pirates. I mean, yes, folks will hate it, but I can see that happening.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Chaim Bloom's not scared to do in division trades. Wow. I can't see it personally in my head, like him wearing the black and gold, or the Reds jerseys. I can see Kansas City. That was a topic. Shoot, maybe the Yankees get them.
And who was the last one?
I said Nato, Contreras,
Newbar.
Donnie.
Oh, Donovan. Shoot, for what I'm saying, the Royals is a possibility. The Giants are a possibility. Those
Everyone's
two teams,
interested.
yeah. So, yeah, like I said, it would be best if all four are traded. If Newbar isn't traded, I won't be mad because I do like Newbar.
Mm-hmm. I love them all. I love all these guys. That's what sucks. It's just
Nato. I'm good on Nato. So
I mean, I like Nato. I love Nato. I'm happy that he literally, like, we got to witness a time in our lives that Nolan Arenado was on our team. Like, that's cool. It's just
just didn't happen the way we wanted. It didn't pan out the way we hoped.
Yeah, and so like it's gonna suck to see all these guys go, but I mean it's just the time we're at with Cardinals history. So yeah.
There we go. So yeah, good talk. Oh yeah, and now there's been speculation that Oliver or Ali Marmol may get an extension. Your thoughts on that?
I'm fine with that. I mean, he's honestly really impressed me the last 2 years. Like whenever we didn't have our best constructed rosters, he's shown what he can do. I mean, he's managed the bullpen well. And I know that's not just Ali, but it's managed the bullpen well, gave guys off days, fine with the media. I don't even know what manager's good with the media, honestly. They can all be kind of jerks sometimes, but it's based off of who's talking to them as well and asking questions. But no, ever since his first year and all that Tyler O'Neill stuff happened, I think he's gradually gotten better and better and more likable. So I'm not mad about it. And honestly, I'm kind of nervous if it was Molina or Pujols anyways, just because people are going to expect things expect way too much right away. And yeah, they would just think, oh, we're going to win the World Series. Like, that's not how it goes. I'm cool with Ali.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've been meaning to say this for the longest time about Pujols and Molina. I do not want them to have their first experience as a manager be with the Cardinals. I think that would be the worst thing for them to happen.
Especially during this time, especially during this time.
Exactly. But the reason why, because new manager, first time managers in a row, Matheny, Schilt, Marmol. We don't need any more first time managers for this organization. We have not won anything. It's showing that it's not working. Now, if Marmol, and hopefully, it'll be like his fifth, sixth season, if he eventually gets to a point where he may win a championship, because right now this is year number 3 or 4 now. So hopefully, more years down the line, very soon, he may hopefully win one. We never know. We'll see. But we've had 3 opportunities now with first-time managers. Like Joe said, with Pujols and Yachty, the pressure is going to be so much bigger because of who they are for them to succeed. And if they don't succeed, will Cardinal fans have a dislike in regards to them being managers, not players, because we know that they're beloved, but it's different when you're a manager and your team ain't doing nothing, because we have this, or we've been having this, mindset of we expect to win. We don't want to put those guys in that position.
I mean, just think of how beloved Mike Matheny was by every Cardinals fan. He was one of my favorites growing up, and honestly, because he was a catcher, but he came here and people just started to rail on the guy.
Yes.
I don't want to be mad at Yachty or Albert, you know.
So, like I said, have their first experience be somewhere else. Let's say Pujols goes somewhere else and has major success. He's getting it. And if the opportunity presents itself, Okay, well, now he has experience in the major league level as a manager. Now, come on home and take over for the next, 10 years or whatever time that you have. Same thing with Yachty. My thing is, for me also, is I trust Pujols more as a manager than I do Yachty. We've seen what Pujols has done with the Dominican League and how they've been winning championships. And now he's going to be doing for the first time coaching in the World Baseball Classic. I just feel that he has a better resume. Not saying Yachty can't do it or whatever or couldn't do it, but my first choice between Yachty and Pujols would be Pujols being the manager. I feel like he's just different and he's more trustworthy as a manager to hold things down. And the reason why I say that also is because we saw with Yachty, even during his last year with the Cardinals, that you freaking left your team to go to Puerto Rico to see about your basketball team or whatever it was. Yes, we know it's your last season, but still stuff like that this stays in the back of my mind. Then when you said you want to be part of the organization 2 years ago, you didn't show up at all for training camp. For spring training or during the regular season. So to me, it's like, is he really reliable?
I think that second part was more on
But wait a minute.
possibly.
But if you're a manager, you got to be there all 182 games. So this back forth, he wasn't officially under contract all the way with the Cardinals. But I wouldn't use that on his resume. But my other question, he's a catcher. That's your defense. Besides a pitcher, would you want him to have that knowledge to use that as from the manager's box?
But so is Matheny, and what happened?
He wasn't. Now, come on now. That is
a lot
apples and oranges. Matheny, Yachty.
I'm just saying. You bought a manager. So Matheny's, I'm sorry, catcher.
But I'm talking about the talent wise of what they did on the field that could transpire into manager. Matheny, what he did on the field was okay, but what Yachty did was great. It's that's why I said it's apples and oranges with their talent that they did.
Yachty had, Yachty was a better overall catcher in regards to hitting wise, but
pitchers, those pitchers. Listen, going back from when they early 2000s when they came up between Wayne Oka and traded and coming to the Cardinals, we had Carpenter and all that. They can only speak praise on how Yachty was. They cannot do that with things. Don't do it. And that again with that defense is the core to how you have a good team. You need the pitchers to be really good, and of course the catchers. We see the drop off from when Yachty stopped being a catcher to Contreras. And I want Contreras to be a manager for Yachty. Couldn't pay me to say maybe. It's a hell no. So all I'm saying is
I disagree with the Matheny love. And the reason why is because that year that he cut his hand, he was a catcher. He was a guy that they lost all momentum. I think that was in 2004 when they went to the World Series, Joe. And they had one of their best teams in Cardinal history and fell short against the Red Sox, got swept. But that year, he was the way that Molina was loved in regards to being trustworthy with the pitchers, getting the defense together. Now, forget the bat because you had Pujols. You had Pujols, Walker, Edman, Renteria. You had Murray's Row, so that wasn't an issue. But you had that guy that everyone depended on behind the plate, who was like their second coach. That's how valuable Matheny was during his time before Molina took over. So let's not discredit Matheny.
Was a Gold Glove, really steady catcher back there. We literally went from one great catcher to an extremely great catcher. You know what I'm saying? So, and Matheny's end of his management tenure, wasn't good. But I know he also took a team from Tony La Russa, and the front office still tried because they just won a World Series. But we went to the World Series in 2013, and we made the playoffs pretty much every year that he was here. So he's not gonna say he was an awful manager. He was
Right.
still here, and we just had better talent as well. Though it's something in the background changed during that time.
And Ms. Dub asked, is there a position such as assistant manager where they can get experience? Yes, they already have that right now. You have your bench coach, because I believe Ali Marmon was a bench coach with Mike Shilp.
Yeah, and right now it's like what John Jay and Danny D. So
Right.
I like how they have the Memphis Mafia up here right now. Still.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, no, I'm go back to the original question. I'm fine with Ali getting an extension. I do think he has gained a lot of trust of Cardinals Nation. And there's always going to be those a-holes on social media, because there is, for literally, if you breathe wrong, they're on you about it. But I think Ali Marmol has definitely gained the trust of a lot of Cardinals fans and the respect. So, and
And
he is good with the younger players.
that's why I'm going to
He
bring
really
up.
is.
That's why I feel like going into this year, he's probably even that more excited, because now he's getting these younger, less experienced players that he can groom under his tutelage. I think he's looking forward to that challenge, that now he's finally getting the team that he may have wanted all along and that he's been crying for. Because we all know, Bunny, that management isn't too great in signing the right players, or spending money wisely and getting certain players. And he's been doing like a cry for help for the last couple of years to say, man, just give me the right guys, or let me take over this part and bring in this or do whatever. But he has to let management do their thing. He has to let Mozeliak and them do his thing. But now with Heim, I just feel like it's going to be different. Yeah, I just feel it, because it's time for something different. We can't continue to be behind the 8 ball. And even before behind Blue came, I've been saying I fully support Marmol, that he hasn't been to blame for the reason of our downfall. It has not been his fault. He may have had a moment in the playoffs, but that wasn't the reason why the team lost. You know what I'm saying? The whole series, your player didn't step up.
Too
You know?
soon, Smooth. Too soon. Just kidding. The Astros won the series that year, so I'm fine with it. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, and it's funny is whenever we signed Heim Bloom, everyone was speculating he was just gonna like fire Ali or
Right.
No, I mean, it's we have to believe it's going to change because it needs to change.
Right.
So that's all we can do right now.
Yeah. So that was our extended baseball talk. Bunny, before you have to go ahead and leave, I want to go ahead and touch right into the football. So you brought up earlier in regards to the college football. So this is where there's been a lot of and Bunny led into it earlier, doing what has her attention, especially with Notre Dame. But this is the official college football playoff 12-team field, as you see on the screen. So start from 1 to 12, you have Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. Now, here's where it gets spicy. Number 9, Alabama, a team that lost by over 20 points in the SEC championship game against Georgia. It was like no contest at all. They still made it in. Right behind them was University of Miami. Then you have Tulane and James Madison. 2 teams that no one in the world, even their own universities, would have ever thought they'll be in the college football playoff bracket, but they are there. And one of the reasons why is because the ACC championship game, I believe it was between Duke and Virginia, and Duke won that game. They were the lower seed, and Duke won that game. And when Duke won that game, that changed the whole college football rankings in regards to who's going in and going out. That caused chaos, as they love to say, and chaos happened. And because Notre Dame, as you brought up earlier, Bunny, they had a rough start to their season. They did end the season off amazing, but to the other eyes, it just wasn't enough. and that's how it allowed Miami, Tulane, well, Alabama, Miami, Tulane, and James Madison to get a bid in the playoff game. And then, as you brought up earlier, with Notre Dame deciding, you know what? Since y'all want to play us like that, we're not going to play in a non-college football bowl game. We're going to go ahead and sit out. And that's exactly what they did, along with Kansas State, Iowa State, Baylor, Rutgers, Florida State, University of Auburn, Temple, UCF, and KU. And it's crazy because on the last show of the Man Cave, that was one of their topics, was are non-college football bowl games now relevant? And this is proof that you got Power 5 teams. Not one team is a whatever school. These are Power 5 conference teams that decline the bowl bid because they feel like if it's not a college football bowl game, then why should I still play? Now, from what I understand, the players themselves from Notre Dame decided to decline the bowl bid. It wasn't the AD. It wasn't Marcus Freeman, who I think is Bunny's other husband or boyfriend, whatever. But they declined to play. So I'm not sure about the other teams and who made that decision. Maybe it was the players, but you're seeing a lot of teams that are in Power 5 conferences say, you know what, I'm good on bowl games. And I feel that this is a start of more teams doing that. Now, granted, word is that maybe after this season, the college football playoff will expand to 16 teams. So, of course, there's more opportunity for more teams to get in. But I just would not be surprised down the line if we see more teams decline a regular bowl bid if they don't make the college football playoff. But I know you had some saying about Notre Dame earlier, Bunny, but any other thoughts about these other teams, these other universities not being a part of the college football, not being part of the bowl games?
Just the two mid-majors, Tulane and James Madison, definitely, again, was not expecting that. But anybody else, the people that got shunned, so y'all know these guys just ain't as young as they used to be. It keeps going back and forth. Is this? Do you see it on the screen, Jobo? Okay, so it's my stuff that's down. I can't see it anymore. It's like up, not on my screen for some reason, just a regular backdrop. That's okay. Well, point is, how we go through this with March Madness and basketball, that's what's going on with this football until they expand the playoffs. It's still going to be somebody upset, but it shouldn't be as bad if you expand the playoffs. And then get some of the top tier teams of first round bye. Real quick, what Miss Dub said, what would that mean for bowl games? Do they become less meaningful? Yes, that's why I said earlier they're watered down. They're not as relevant. I mean, the bowl games that are for the college playoffs are still there, but the regular non-playoff ones, like for what? The money pot that they offer them is probably not worth the travel and all of that. It's just watered down. I don't see the purpose of them if it's not for the college playoffs. So that's why I was saying they should kind of mimic somewhat how we do it with March Madness, and that's why I said expand it. At the same time, it's again we have this napping next year, even if it's expanded where you have some big majors get in there and the top tier doesn't. Some of this stuff is on the committee and some stuff is self-inflicted. Now, I remember last year we went through this with Alabama getting controversy, like how they getting in and they didn't win out the conference yet. You know, somebody else didn't get in, but I tell y'all with the money, fan base is big. Of course they gonna want them on the national spotlight. We go through this with the March Madness. So some people get in, and it's like they don't deserve it, but they got the fan base. We talk about that in North Carolina in basketball. They shouldn't have got in this past March, but they did. Why? The fan base and the dollars equate to we need them in there over having an undefeated mid-major team, So it's gonna be controversial until they expand the playoffs some more. Then I think, get minimized.
But even when they when they expand the college football playoff, you're still never going to please everyone. That's just how it's going to be. There's not going to be a perfect system to have the right 12 or 16 teams because there's always going to be someone that's, oh, well, what about this team? It's never going to be a perfect scenario, truthfully. But at the end of the day, it's all about what you do on the field, how you do it, strength of schedule, like I brought up earlier. And also going back to Notre Dame, and this is going to be very big. They're going to have to, especially in football, suck it up and choose a conference to be under because these other schools are going to start resenting Notre Dame and not want to schedule and face them during the regular season if Notre Dame keeps on being not having a conference. Because that's what hurt them also is because they are not in the conference. They don't play a conference championship game. And their schedule, it's better than Mizzou's. I'll say that now in regards to the non-con. Well, I guess every game is a non-con. But in regards to their full strength of schedule, they do play better teams. But they had to be perfect, pretty much, like they were last year to get into the college football playoff. Now, for what I understand from reports that I read, is that they had an agreement with the ACC that if they have a certain good record, that there'll be a lock to get into the football playoff, and that's why they're mad at the ACC. I don't have all the details in regards to that, but once again, it's going to get to a point where Notre Dame is going to have to go ahead and finally be in the conference and not be independent. And then, see about how you will be in a conference and play a conference championship game and go off like that. So we'll see. But chaos happened in college football, and hey, it is how it is. But we'll see how great Tulane and James Madison look when they start playing games very soon. Ooh, that look on Bunny's face. Miss Dove says, I've always felt that the teams in the college football playoffs are chosen by a magic 8-ball. It may seem like that.
Now, just because we were listening to 101 the other day when they were talking about all this bracket playoff stuff, is why is it most like professional sports have 16, teams in the playoffs, but you got college football not? Like, should probably go up a little bit.
I mean, college football is just like the Cardinals. They're so behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know, because I do feel like, and there's some teams out there that are probably deserving of being in the playoffs, and then it's just people like a committee or vote or whatever, and I don't like that. I don't like that.
But look, if people are complaining about how it is now, just imagine how it was 4 or 5 years ago when there was no college football playoff. It was just the Final Four.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's like, I think I've said this before, but like I feel like the goal, if you want to be in your sports professional league, the college league needs to literally mirror that professional league you want to go into, like everything, so I don't know what you do to fix it. Just fix it all right now. But like you said, 4 or 5 years ago, it wasn't even this. So they're slowly making their way, I guess, but hopefully they make it better in the coming years.
Yep. Any thoughts, Bunny?
So it's just next year. We'll just see. It's all I can say. Next year, meaning January, when the committee gets together again and say we're going to do these rule changes for the fall 2026 football season, or it's going to be next year, December 2026, where we're still talking about the same chaos from this current December.
Yeah. So we shall see, but I do expect to have some exciting bowl games, unlike last year. Because if you see right now, last year on the first round games, every top seed lost their first game at home. It was terrible. I was like, "Are you serious?" Like every first round team lost their home game, and it was like, "Oh man, this is not looking good for how they want the college football playoff to be." But we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get some exciting games, and it will be something if you see a Tulane or James Madison advance. That'll be woo, that'll be amazing to see. But I'm not sure it's going to happen. And especially, boy, can you imagine how Stanford would feel if James Madison beat Oregon? Oh my goodness. Stanley will probably announce his his fandom for Oregon if they lost to James Madison. So everyone pay attention to that game coming up very soon. If Oregon loses against James Madison, whoo, Stanley's not going to hear it. It's not going to stop hearing it from especially the Man Cave crew. I know a few guys from the Man Caves are gonna definitely get on his head about Oregon if they lose, but we'll see. But that is the college football playoff. Let's transition to the NFL as we are getting down to the nitty gritty. It's all about contenders and pretenders after week 14. As you see right now in the AFC, the number one seed, we have the Denver Broncos. Who would have thought that the Broncos would be the number one seed? Wow. And then after that, let me take this screen away real quick, or this part away. All right, so no, that didn't work. I'm sorry, not week, but in the NFC, the number one seed, we have the Rams at this time. The number two seed in the AFC, we have the Patriots. So who came up in their right mind to say the one seed, the Broncos, and two, the Patriots?
I'm telling you, it's weird. I don't understand what's going on in the NFL.
Man, like this is like back in Peyton Manning and Tom Brady years. The number three seed, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Who?
The number four seed, the Steelers. Number five, the Chargers. Number six, the Buffalo Bills. Number seven, the Texans.
They're still alive.
There's one team that we don't see on here that we usually see, and the end of an era may have happened in regards to the dynasty, and that's the Chiefs. Yes, they lost. Yes, they lost a Super Bowl last year, and then this year it's just not looking good at all. And that last game against the Texans on Sunday Night Football, like, oh my God, man, Patrick Mahomes, I felt so bad for him because he did his part, but his receivers, especially Kelsey, they could not catch a ball to save their lives.
But I will say this, Smooth. Run back the tape from last year. The Chiefs barely got into the playoffs.
Yep.
But they pulled it off. But I said then when they barely got in, I said this dynasty, if they make it, this is the end of it. Because they squads by last year. Beginning of this season, they start off 0-2. I called it. I said, Now had this conversation with a coworker. I said, Patrick Mahomes is locked in. And he got that long contract for a reason. He's not the problem. So the everybody else around, they're gonna have to get rid of them. And what I foresee is the Chiefs having 2 bad years, and then they're gonna come back again. And because Patrick Mahomes not going anywhere, everybody else is, So long as you got your centerpiece, you can build around it. But you're gonna have a couple of bad years. So that's what's gonna happen. This year, next year, and then year after, when the Cardinals start being competitive in 2028, maybe the Chiefs are gonna bounce back.
And
But
it's
also, oh, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, and I've seen this on social media as well. It's like the resemblance last year and this year between the Astros and the Chiefs are literally like exactly the same. They both put on like this dynasty type run, and they're kind of slowing down a little bit. Some of it could be age. There's still good players on both teams, but so something's going downhill with both of them. So I'm curious to see if they limp their way into the playoffs or not, and how long their reset will be.
And then another big factor is you don't know how much longer Andy Reid, the head coach, is going to stay either. So just keep that in mind, because you know how it is with dynasties ending, and you're seeing people start to fall off. That maybe that coach or manager may say, you know what, I've done my time. It's time to go ahead and fall back. So you just never know. Miss Dub, yes, Mahomes is not getting the protection he used to have. That's true.
That's the lineman's fault. That's why I said they gotta blow up the offensive side from the line receivers. Defensive side, they could blow up a little other players as well. Not as bad as the offense though. Blow it all up. Like I said, they're gonna be like the Cardinals, I believe. Not as bad, but they're gonna definitely 2 years are gonna be bad before they get it together. Get new, fresh legs and get some good linemen in there.
Ooh, I wish the Cardinals won 3 rings in the last handful of years.
Right.
It was 3, right? 2, 3, whatever it was.
Yeah. 3 because they beat the Eagles. Then they
49ers, the
yeah,
49ers beat them that 1 year.
no,
No,
no.
no.
Yeah, they beat the 49ers 2 times in the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
that's right. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
Ooh, poor T-Bone.
All right. So in the NFC, you have the Rams once again, number 1 seed. Number 2 seed, Green Bay. Number 3, the Eagles. Number 4, the Buccaneers. Number 5, the Seahawks. Number 6, the 49ers. And number 7, the Bears. So that Bears and Green Bay, that can swap each week depending on who wins, who loses.
That was a
So
great game.
yeah. So I predicted that the Bears will win the NFC North. They're just a game right behind the Packers from doing that. So we'll see. But got 4 more weeks left. So I believe they end the season. I think they play at Chicago. The Green Bay plays at Chicago. Let me check the schedule real quick and see. But that'd be a great game to end the season off with. Let's see, Bears, Chicago Bears.
And my friend and her husband and their friends were at that game on Sunday, and like the Saturday before, they got to do a tour of the stadium, which was cool, and they had to wear these tags saying they're a what's their I'm blanking, what's their stadium called?
Lambeau.
That they're Lambeau Field virgins and stuff, and like I don't know, it looked like they had a really good time though. So yeah, I could imagine like pre-gaming at a Lambeau game, or just a game outside, it's freezing, and just getting drunk and having a good time. Sounds fun.
So going back to the schedule, the Bears face the Browns next week, and this Sunday, and then the following Saturday they host the Packers.
Is that the last game of the year, or is there another one after that?
They have 2 more after that. They have they go to San Fran to play the 49ers. In the last game of the season, woo-wee, Detroit Lions. They host the Detroit Lions. So
Is there 18 weeks now?
They got yes. It got extended.
My lord, I feel like it was just extended to 17 weeks, like 2
But
years
they
ago.
took away a preseason game and extended. They took away.
Oh,
So that's
okay. So when do the playoffs start then?
January.
The following week after the 4th of January. So what's that?
The wild card. That's January the 6th. No, I'm lying. The first is a Thursday.
Yeah, the 10th. January 10th will be the first playoff game.
Wild card.
Man, I feel like that's later, like a lot later.
Yeah, because usually the playoffs start that first week, that first Sunday
after the New Year.
Yeah, that's usually. But this year, no, you have a full slate of football games going on the Sunday, the 4th of January.
Okay. Oh, can I say something before I have to leave?
Yeah.
What about Christmas Day? So that's been NBA. That's their day. So last year, NFL tapped into that market, and they do it again this year. Now, I'm like, maybe because, Christmas is on the Thursday night football, But I foresee the NFL doing this even if it's not on a Thursday. Like you try to take up the Christmas viewers. So I don't I don't say feel the type of way. I don't have loyalty to either league like that, but I love basketball. And I was like, I hope that this doesn't continue because I don't like splitting watching an NFL game and watching NBA games. Like it should be Christmas just for NBA. NFL, y'all
Well,
got your time.
you ain't gonna like this, but of course it's back again this year, and it's gonna keep on continuing
I
to come
figured
to be because NFL is still
making that
king.
money.
Now, granted, even your boy LeBron James, after they had their Christmas game last year, he was like, "Love to the NFL," but like you said,
Christmas is theirs. NBA, that's what I was thinking.
it's our thing. But no, now that they had that experience, they're back again where the Cowboys face the Commanders at noon, the Detroit Lions at the Vikings at 3:30. This is Central Standard Time. Then you got the Broncos at the Chiefs at 7:15. So you're gonna have a full slate of basketball and football on Christmas Day.
That's crazy.
They got so many eyes and hours in a day. You can't watch all of this stuff live. I'm just saying, because your NBA starts Christmas Day at like 11 a.m. Central Time.
While trying to enjoy your family time.
Well, family time, you squeeze in where you can.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Bunny.
Look, family time, we'll put that as problem number 2. Problem number 1 is sports time.
So before you go, who do you see, even though we see the seating right now, but who do y'all truly see as contenders? Let's start off first in the AFC. Go ahead, Bunny.
You say pretenders or contenders?
Contenders.
AFC side. I already got the Broncos is good, but I don't look at the wild card. Who are gonna come out of that? The Patriots, definitely. Steelers, flip the coin. I don't know. The Bills. The Bills are finally they slayed the dragon because the Chiefs ain't gotta go through the Buffalo anymore. The Bills, I'm tripping.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I should probably put a bet on them to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, that they finally got over to the last round because no more choose. So there's that.
We just jinxed them, by the way. The Chiefs are gonna go win 4 in a row.
Right. So pretty much, Bunny, as you were just saying, you do feel that the Broncos are for real. They are contenders. This isn't a joke. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yeah. All right, Jobo, what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Broncos are for real. Patriots are for real. The Bills are for real, and yeah, like the Steelers as well. Herbert just don't know with the broken hand and whatnot, but they looked good. What was that, Monday night?
Yeah.
Monday night, yeah, but yeah, I mean, like the other teams, like the Texans, they're just on a run right now. They won like 4 or 5 in a row. That's how long is that gonna last? But they could sneak in. But yeah, I'd say those 4 are legit contenders.
So for me, I can't trust the Broncos yet. I just can't do it. When the lights are bright, you know how I am. Lights are bright, do you really stand out? And I'm not convinced yet that they can. But I will say the Texans, they have the best defense in all of football, and defense takes you a long way. And you're seeing what's your boy quarterback? I forgot his name.
CJ Stroud.
You're seeing him gain more confidence as the games go by. He's finally getting back to what we thought he was going to be. Last year he had a bum year, didn't really do a whole lot his sophomore season, but this third year, yes, he did have an injury. He was out for quite some time, but you're starting to see him get that confidence. That drive that he had against the Chiefs, when the Chiefs could have took all the momentum and took the game over, he made this incredible play on like third down where he got a crucial first down, and then he started making other plays to keep the ball alive. and keep the hopes alive, should I say, for the Texans. I believe they are a contender. The Bills are a contender. And if I had to choose one more team, I can't trust the Chargers. I can't trust the Jags. I can't. Oh my gosh, the Steelers. The defense for the Steelers aren't convincing enough for me. So, man, if I had to choose between the Broncos and the Patriots, man, it's tough. It's tough. I probably would have to go ahead and say the Patriots. I'll go ahead and say that. So contenders to me: Patriots, Texans, and the Bills. For the NFC, Bunny, contenders.
She's back.
Just like that. Again, pretender or contender?
Contender.
Okay, NFC. I don't want to go with the Rams. You know, I don't like them when they left St. Louis. Screw Kroenke and them. Ugh.
But
Something's going to
they are.
miraculously happen. They're going to lose in the first round.
Oh,
I still got faith in my Eagles. They're suspect though, boy. They hanging on by a thread.
Man.
I think they can pull it off because they got the experience. They've been here before, Smooth. So hopefully. The Bears though, again had this conversation at work. I was like, hey, yeah, they're not gonna go far, but they're contenders. Seahawks, I was surprised at them. I am they definitely were not on my bingo card for playoff, but they're there, so they're contenders, definitely. I could see no 49. I can see them flaking. The
Mm,
Bucks, I can see them flaking. Mm-mm.
mm. All right, Jobo.
um, sadly the Rams. They've just been good. I'm sorry, Bunny. I don't like saying it. Green Bay, I'll say, are contenders. That, like I said, that was a fun game to watch. Was it Sunday night? But then I'm gonna go Eagles by a thread, like you guys were saying, and that might be it. Like that, I don't know. I'm looking at the two NFC AFCs, and NFC just isn't doing anything for me. I mean, maybe the Bucks if they didn't have so many injuries, but I mean, like, well, in my opinion, one of them like underrated type guys in the game, Mike Evans, he's just done, and he's a pretty big, pretty important person on that team, and he's gone. So, yeah, I'm just going Rams, Green Bay, and slightly the Eagles.
All right. So for me, definitely the Rams. They have impressed me. They doing their thing. I am, even though they are currently a 7 seed team, I'm still riding with them. Bears are contenders. And this is a tough one here. But I was impressed with what I saw with Green Bay and how Jordan Love was slinging that ball this past Sunday against the Bears. So I have Rams, Bears, and Packers as my contenders. So that's our football talk. Bunny, did you have a favorite main show episode?
Yeah. A deer in the headlights.
Right. Yeah. So
My background's loud. That's why I can't
okay.
hear
My
loud.
bad. My bad. Did you have a favorite main show episode for this year?
Now y'all know my memory is worse than a little newborn baby. Come on.
You're supposed to have this already
I
planned.
know,
You know
but
what,
even
though,
with that,
Smooth? It's
you
tough.
gave us the homework assignment in advance. You did, but still, I can't read. It's too many. Seriously. And then when I was thinking, I was like, wait, that was the ladies' night show. That wasn't the main show. So I'm like, just give me an F. The Jobo, you can redeem
No,
it to redeem me. But it's just
I'm right.
seriously, I can remember so many.
I'm right there with you though. And like I always do enjoy the shows though that me and Smooth just. I love you, Bunny, and I love everyone else. But when it's just me and Smooth and we're just like talking shop, we're just talking ball. those are some of my favorite episodes, and I think I said that last year too. But I genuinely, truly do enjoy those shows where we're just we have topics to discuss, but we kind of ramble on about other stuff. So those are my favorite shows.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about this because once again, there's so many great shows that we've had this year. But one show that does stand out for me was the episode when we had Jay Smooth on the show. And this was when I believe it was me, Jay Smooth, and Annie. And Annie was on, like, she was in rare form. It wasn't even really about the guests, but she was in like rare form in regards to the interaction with the guests. But I believe it was like me. I think it was a certain player that we were talking about in sports, and like she just keep on bringing up this person or bringing up some funny little scenarios, whatever. But it was just one of those shows that would just you saw Annie in a rare form that was just like really something to remember. So that was an episode from back in August.
I have
August
another
13th.
one.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I completely forgot about this. I don't know how I did. But because the first time he was here, I wasn't able to join the show because I was on vacation.
Kyle
But the
Reese.
second time, yeah, Kyle Reese. He's someone that I follow on X, and he's goofy as hell, but he knows his stuff. And he's someone, if you don't follow him on social media, follow him, because with the possibilities of what the Cardinals off season is going to be and who Dick Fitz, guys, okay? Dick Fitz. And if you know Kyle Reese, there's going to be a lot of fun interactions on social media because we have a man on our team named Dick Fitz. So, Kyle Reese, that's another one.
Yeah. And I'm looking at it now, Bunny. So you were actually on the episode along with Jay Smooth and Annie as well. But it was a topic, and I wish I would have did more research before I brought it up, but it was a topic that we brought up on the show that me and Jay Smooth kept on messing with Annie about. I wish I could find it real quick. But like I said, she was just in rare form, and it was just a good show. It was just different that night. So that probably was a show that stood out for me the most out of this year. But I mean, it's so many to choose from, and there's so many great shows. So just appreciate being able to say which show or shows stood out for y'all. So that's pretty amazing. But with that being said, Bunny, thank you for your time once again. I know you got to go ahead and finally go. So thank you very much. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week for the Super Show.
Bye, buddy.
All right, Bunny, you have a good one.
This must be loud over there. Bye. I want to say something real quick before we move forward. These are things I could have said in my "You Got My Attention" is we got to congratulate Jack Buck, not Jack Buck. Whoa, his son. Oh my gosh, Joe Buck. But he is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So shouts to him. And then this one was actually, it's funny because you mentioned it for a possibility for Wilson Contreras. And then while we're down here, Brendan sent me a little, you got to take it with a grain of salt. John Denton was reporting it. But the Mets have been checking in on Wilson Contreras. He just said Wilson Contreras. So
ain't that something? See, I've been doing my stuff, y'all.
And it was after they didn't. It says after they didn't get Alonso, but apparently they didn't even offer him anything. Which, if I was Pete Alonso,
right. After everything he did for that team, and he loved playing for the Mets.
And it's crazy to think. Yeah, it's crazy to think that he's the all-time home run record for the Mets.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, that's. I'm just excited for trades and signings, and oh man.
So just to add on to what has my attention, I wish I would have brought this up with Bunny, but I forgot to do it. But let me move this out of the way real quick. So you have these traditions in sports, right? And I saw this tradition last year, but it came across my feed recently. And this is a college. It's Taylorsville. Let me see. Let me pull it back up real quick. It is Taylorsville College, I believe. Here we go. Taylor University, excuse me. Taylor University hosted their annual Silent Night game, where one game a year they have a Silent Night game where they stay quiet. Everyone in the gymnasium stays quiet until the home team scores 10 points. And once they score 10 points, everyone leaves the stands and storms the court. If you don't believe me,
What?
just watch. Yes.
What in the world? Hold on. I got so many questions. One, what did you see that guy on the bottom left dressed as a robot?
Yes.
2, why 10?
I don't know. I need to do more research to see why 10, but that's how they do it. It's not every game. It's just one game out the year. So any team who they play, they already know to prepare. Because if you saw the video, as soon as that point scored,
Where did they go?
The home team and the away team just start running and ducking. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
That happened in the first half with like in like the 4-minute mark of the game. Early in the first half, the game not started not too long after that, or before that, and they stormed the court as if it was a game-winning buzzer, and he won the national championship. That's how they do it at Taylor University for their annual Silent Night game. And then I see here that they are 27-1 all time in Silent Night games.
Maybe they just need to play the whole season like that. You know how awkward that game is, though? Until you get to that, you hear everything.
Yes. Yes. You can hear someone from the other end of the gym breathing. That's how quiet it is.
There were people up top right that were wearing Alvin shirts from Alvin and the Chipmunks. I don't know if you've seen that. There's a group of those people. What did I just watch? But it was cool, different and cool.
Yeah. So I had to make sure I showed that before the end of the show, man. I forgot to do it when Bunny was watching, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. Cause I'm like, man, I know it's something else I'm supposed to be bringing up. And I'm like, oh, now I thought about it. But yeah, I had to go ahead and show that because that's pretty interesting. Something you don't see every day in the world of sports. So that probably has to be the best tradition maybe ever in sports. Is something like that.
Yeah, I can get down with something like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they had like a whole rave and everything.
I know. I wonder how long it took to like clean up and get serious for the rest of the game.
Right, get back to your season. Got a game, but like I said, because they do it so often, I know that the referees know, everyone knows to prepare for it. And for what I saw, they actually like use a TV timeout because they're in college, so they know it's on TV. So they actually use a TV timeout to have them do their thing, and then they get back off the court, and now it's back to a regular game. But it's just crazy. Then I saw another clip, and I can't recall if it's the same team or not, but it was like after like the last 2 minutes of the quarter, I think, of the game or something like that, in which the whole crowd will be singing a song while the teams are playing. So everyone would be in unison as a big choir and singing a song while teams are playing.
That's some of my favorite stuff right there. Like, what school is it? I know they're not singing, but what school is it that comes out to Enter Sandman? And the whole entire stadium's jumping and screaming the
Uh,
lyrics.
it may be Texas A&M.
Okay, I love that. Or I remember, when was it? We went down to Ballpark Village for a blues event, and I can't remember what it was, but at some point the entire building just started a USA chant, and that was like a life goal of mine, to
Mm,
be a part of a USA chant with hundreds of people, and it was so badass. I love it. Like when people just come together or just do the same thing,
yeah.
that's not violent. you know, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, just having fun and cheering and
Now,
good moments. People can be good.
one of the coolest things I remember doing, maybe it was doing that Blues Stanley Cup run, or maybe a year or two afterwards, but it was the night that the normal national anthem singer, what's his name?
Glenn.
Yeah, him. I think that he got sick or something. He wasn't able to sing, and so everyone in the arena sung the national anthem. I thought that was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I love that type of stuff. I love it.
Yep. All right, y'all. So once again, this is your Wednesday night sports delight, the platform sports talk show, the last main show episode of 2025. And we're going to end it on not such a high note as we talk about the St. Louis Blues. Joe, for those wondering, now we know, of course, you're a Blues fan, but tell everyone the reason why you're rocking this jersey during this show this evening.
I had to, guys. Okay, while the winter meetings were going on, Pete Alonso signed this man. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yep.
Robbie Fabry, number 15. My favorite recent Blue has signed back with the team, and he's gonna be starting tomorrow night. I'm excited. The season's not saved, okay? It's not saved, but it's just something. This is the best moment of the year for me so far, and that's very sad. But I'm excited. I had to pull out the Fabry jersey, and is he gonna be wearing 15 even? I don't know, but good vibes with Fabry back on the team, and he's just gonna be like a bottom six player, but who knows? Crazier things have happened. Maybe he sparks some energy with the club.
So as soon as I saw that he resigned, the first person I thought about was Randy Carricker. Because you know how he'd be like, Robbie Fabry. That's the first person I thought of when he signed. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. So of course I had to, message you on Twitter or on the X, excuse me. But I thought about Randy Carricker and how he'd be doing his Robbie Fabry chant. But outside of that, you brought up that the season has not been saved. And speaking of saved, there's one particular person that I want to bring up. If you saw the promo, you know what I'm talking about. But a few games ago, when the Blues had a game against, I forgot who they played against. You may remember who it was, Joe. But Jim Montgomery took Jordan Benton out of the game, and Benton wasn't too happy. We know already, how Benton is a no filter. He shows his emotions on his sleeve kind of guy. And this was an instance in which you don't see often, but he wasn't too happy about being taken out the game. And we're starting to see, the years, that he's been on, been a goalie, been on the team for the Blues and a whole nine. And it's very possible that he may be going down that same road, like, Arenado, meaning that, great player, talented, but may not have as much anymore. With this team not looking very promising right now. Granted, They are what 2 points behind a final wild card spot, so things can change. But even then, we're looking at a situation where yes, it's all about getting in, but it's like, are we really going to do anything if we did get in? Kind of situation. So with that being said, is this the time for the St. Louis Blues to trade Jordan Bennington? The floor is yours, Jobo.
I don't, I don't know. You guys all know how I feel about Benner. I love the guy. Thankful for 2019, but I think he's slightly overrated. But I think he only has a year left in his contract. I think you'd have to check me on that. But right now, like you said, we could make a playoff. You know, a wild card spot. We could go on some crazy run, but I trust Joel Hofer right now, you know? I mean, it's funny because beginning of the year, Hofer wasn't looking great, but he's been pretty solid ever since. Um, why not see what you could get from him, get for Benner, you know? And I mentioned a bet earlier in the day with the Bills. Why not? You know, if Benner gets traded to the Edmonton Oilers, I am betting on them to win the Stanley Cup finally. Um, okay, so he's signed through the 26-27 season. So after what? So 2 more years, 1.5
Right,
years?
right. Which is actually good for being trade bait because you still have years remaining.
Yeah. So I mean, I can see it happening. I mean, you talk about trades though that hurt a fan base. Jordan Bennington's going to be one that hurts a fan base. It's going to hurt the radio personalities' feelings. It's going to hurt a lot of people's, you know, feelings and stuff. But I mean, not a lot has happened with the Blues since 2021. You know, it's kind of been a little bit of a downhill, and we had fun there at the end last year, but it seems that's what we've been getting lately. It's start off awful, tread waters, play some good hockey, slightly get in or don't even get in, and you know, so I mean, there's got to be change at some time, and can't just keep firing coaches, you know. So why not make a big move like this and really shake things up and try to get potential pieces for the future? And I think Benner would get you a lot.
Yeah. For me, like you said before, it will hurt, but just like the whole trade with Ryan O'Reilly, it's gonna hurt, but it's gonna be something that you know what we got the best of that player already. So it'll hurt to go. It'll hurt to see him go, but you'll understand down in the long run that, like you said before, Joe Hofer, you have more trust in him now. You know, he's been brought up the right way, getting that playing time, sharing time with Benner, learning from Benner as well. So if it does happen, yes, it will sting. Benner will still have a statue outside of Enterprise Center. It's going to happen. Same thing with Petrangelo. I still think that's going to happen. What you think?
Yeah, he's the first St. Louis Blue to ever
Yeah,
touch the Stanley Cup, you know.
yeah,
And I'm sorry, I'm still salty. I'm still salty about that one. I'm still mad at Army about that, um but yeah, I mean I can see it happen. I'm not super familiar with other teams' farm systems, like you know, like I am with baseball compared to hockey. So I don't know what, and you could throw picks in there and stuff. So I'm not sure what you could even get for Benner. I know the Predators are crazy and asking for like a first round pick and someone for Ryan O'Reilly, which I love that man to death, but that's not happening. You know, like that's not going to happen. He's on the decline and he's old. Like there's no way you're going to get that. So, but I do think you could get something good, especially with a couple of years on him. So, and you know what he can do in big games. Jordan Bennington, as much crap I could talk on the guy, he is a big game goalie, and that's why we have a Stanley Cup in 2019. So, um, if it happens, it happens, and I hope we get a lot for him.
yeah. So I will say strike while the iron's hot, Don't wait till he gets to a certain point where you can't trade him. How like the Cardinals did with Dylan Carlson and other players, where you waited too long to finally go ahead and pull the trigger. Go ahead and make it happen. If y'all want to go and get rid of him or trade him away, because if you put him on the right team where he does have great defense in front of him, great scoring as well, it's gonna make his job that much easier. Like for instance, if he's selected or if he's the number one goalie for Team Canada again, like he was last year for the Four Nations, watch him shine.
Which I guess we should have brought that up earlier today too. Apparently, I guess the ice or something isn't up to whatever, I don't know the word I'm trying to say,
Yeah,
but
playing level right now.
playing level. So we may not even see NHL players in the Olympics because
And
of
that'll
that.
be messed up. That'd be messed up. But yeah, I did see, I can't recall who it was exactly, but he said yes, if the ice isn't standard, isn't safe, you will not see NHL players in the Olympics.
Gary
So
Bettman, yeah, the commissioner said that. So I mean,
he said that. Okay.
yeah. So and that's if the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, and with hockey wanted to excel, they needed hockey to be like the Four Nations tournament, and if that's not going to happen if the NHL players aren't in there.
Yeah. So once again, is it time for him to go? Unfortunately for me, I say yes. Time to go ahead and move on from Bennington. Thank you. Of course, it'll be sad, but he'll always be loved. He will always be revered. It's just that time that maybe, it's time to go ahead and move on and just put him on a team that's going to give him a great chance to win another cup. Because if he has a great defense ahead of him, great offense, and he just got to focus on just doing what he do, he'll be just fine with being in the right position. So, and then we can bring back some good pieces too, like you said, bring back a nice haul for getting someone like Benner for the playoff run, where he thrives off the playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
So strike while the iron is hot. That's what I say. And we have someone waving right now. Who is that?
Oh, that's my mama. What, you're on YouTube now too? Hi, mom.
So you on YouTube now, huh? She's showing out. So yeah, there we go, everyone. I believe that's it. Did you have any other that you want to bring up, Jobo?
Oh man, not right now. I'm
Mama Boba.
Yeah, or Mama Marty.
Excuse me, Mama Marty. There we go.
Mama Marty. But no, just I'm looking forward to what the rest of the MLB off season has to offer. There's still some big names out there, and bigger names that could be traded. Honestly, there's not just locally our guys, but you got Ketel Marte out there that's being rumored. You got Tarek Skubal. Is he going to be traded? I'm leaning more on the no side, but it could happen. Is someone like Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez with the Yankees, their prospects. You have, apparently there was a rumor that Dodgers might trade from their pitching because they just have so much of it, like a Glasnow. Like that would be insane if Glasnow is going to be traded. So it's just so exciting. I want to see more Jeff Passan messages, X's, tweets come through, and I want it to be shocking. Just don't take away from my players in Houston, because I still think they have a decent team.
And another big name to keep an eye on, I've been hearing about Fernando Tatis.
Yeah, I know the Padres, they've been talking about not a fire sale, but trading some salary away, and it's just crazy with how much fun that team's been fun to watch the last handful of years. So that would be crazy. We talk about people being sad about Benner leaving, which don't get me wrong, Benner actually won something, but San Diego fans would be super upset. The Dodgers just keep winning chips, and then they trade away their favorite best player. So Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see. You know, Kyle Tucker is out there. Schwarber recently signed back with the Phillies. And go ahead, Joe.
If Bregman goes to the Cubs, I will. You won't see me on the show anymore. That's all I'm saying. I will no longer be on the planet. My mom probably thinks I'm over exaggerating, but I'm not. I already had to watch Kyle Tucker be on the Cubs. If Alex Bregman goes to the Cubs, I will not be here anymore. It's PSA.
So this may have been your last time seeing Jobo, everyone. So
nice seeing you guys.
Exactly. It's been an incredible run, but that is our final episode of the main show for 2025. And your mom is laughing.
Yep.
So I hope everyone has enjoyed seeing the main show 2025 style. Don't forget, next week we do have the Super Show that will close out the year. You have the Man Cave, you have Ladies Night come together, and they will close things out to end 2025 of the Platform Sports Talk Show Network. Y'all like, well, what's going on with the other 2 weeks? Well, of course, you have Christmas and you have New Year's. So, or Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So, like I said, a lot going on coming up. So we wanted to make sure, well, actually, yeah, that's it. I'm right. I want to make sure I was correct. But yeah, so a lot going on, about to go down for both holiday season on 24th and 31st. So, of course, we want to allow everyone to enjoy their family time, their time off, etc. So, once again, next week is the last show of 2025 with the Super Show. So, make sure y'all go ahead and follow the Platform Sports Talk Show Network all across social media. Just put in the Platform Sports Talk Show. You'll see it on Facebook, on the X, on Instagram. Go on YouTube, subscribe, and click on that bell. Also, if you want to shoot us an email, platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. If y'all want to maybe be a guest on the show, talk some sports. If you know someone that will have a great story to tell, or we can maybe come out to an event, set up shop, and do a show in 2026, hit us up. Once again, Platform Sports Talk Show @gmail.com. If you can't watch the show, it's all good. We on Hot 365 Radio, where it is always hot. Go to the website, hot365radio.com, or via the app on iOS and Android. You can also catch the most recent replay of our show. You catch the replay of our most recent show each Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. They also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/hot365 radio. Once again, usually every first Wednesday of the month, Ladies Night. Every last Wednesday of the month, you have the Man Cave. But next week, final show, the Super Show, Part 2. Stay tuned for that and so much more of the Platform Sports Talk Show Network. It is your boy Smooth along with
Joe.
There we go. The Platform Sports Talk Show Network. Y'all have a great rest of y'all evening and stay warm because I heard it's going to be pretty cold over the weekend, like in the 20s, stuff like that, in the teens. So stay warm and stay tuned. Stay smooth, y'all.
What you have just experienced was brought to you by Smoooth Productions. Until next time, stay tuned and stay smooth.